Working Class Chronicles. I am Renaissance Woman, aka Ren Judah, and I have an Ask Ren question for the day. Some of you all saw that after my video on Friday night when I was talking about the two new articles that I had dropped on the Working Class Chronicles. In the video, I have mentioned that when you're in a hostile work environment, it can feel like you're in an episode of the Terminator because the situation does not stop. The people and the office politics is relentless, and it feels like no matter what you do, it's never ending. It's relentless, like the Terminator. And so from that, I don't know. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I came up with the little cartoon because I had already been playing and having a ball with the little cartoon like Bitmojis. And so I got to thinking, and next thing you know, I'm doing a little cartoon series. And while the subject matter is serious, you know, you can a little humor because there is something very traumatizing about being in a hostile work environment, particularly when you're being harassed, when you're dealing with discrimination, when you're dealing with misconduct. And you think, because I naively, when I coming from a blue collar situation to a white collar situation and them doing different things, there are dynamics in this machine that I never dealt with. And I was reading an article that was shared from someone in my focus group about how this generation of the first generation of white collar workers are not prepared for what goes on in that workspace. And I would say doubly so if you are and when you enter into a so-called white collar space. The purpose of the Working Class Chronicles was to give voice to the working class, is to give voice to the working class, because I feel like our issues are often overlooked. Nobody cares about us. Nobody listens to us. And we are the ones out here doing the work. We are the ones that when things are wrong, we're the voices crying in the wilderness. But oftentimes, those voices are ignored. So the Office Terminator series is a way to have a little fun and help me creatively deal with issues that I've encountered, but also to talk to a younger generation and my generation who loves comic books and cartoons and things, to add a little humor to something that, I believe me, I'm not making light of it. I've been in a hostile work environment. I've experienced these things. So it is traumatic. It is stressful. It hurts. It's embarrassing. And not only that, the person, you being a victim of this behavior, you are often the one made to feel as if you are the one doing something wrong. I mean, I can just talk about it. Having the belief that if I document properly, if I have receipts, if I have proof, if I have witnesses, somebody is going to come and do the right thing. Only to have that not happen, it is traumatizing. It's stressful. People get sick. Most people quit jobs, or they go try to find another job, whatever you can. But sometimes, like, you can't do that, right? Sometimes you have to wait it out until you can implement your exit strategy. So what I'm going to do on this series is give you tools that you can use to help you navigate this environment, and also have a little bit of humor to go along with it. Because one thing is for sure, when it comes to harassment, when it comes to discrimination, when it comes to sexual harassment, when it comes to any of these illegal activities, discriminating against you because you're disabled or you have any of those issues, it's illegal. Misconduct, falsifying documents. While you do have to be careful on social media talking about certain issues when it comes to your employer, as an employee, one thing that you are protected by law, you do not have to protect your employer from illegal activities and misconduct. So remember that, and don't be afraid to file complaints. And I will say, there is an element of when you going through the channels, because most of the time before you get to the state level of your complaint, they do expect you to go through the complete chain of command on your job. Go through the entire process, go through HR, do everything they're asking you to do. Because sometimes in a healthy situation, sometimes it is a communication breakdown, and sometimes you can mitigate these issues. But a lot of times when you have a person who is a bossinator, as the character in my Terminator work office Terminator series, you can't bargain with them, you can't reason with them, there is no explaining, there is no making it work, because their sole purpose is to have you gone. If you are a person who will not go along with the program, if you will not play by their rules and do the type of things that they do, particularly if they're engaged in misconduct, they got to get you out of there. And that's just a reality. And I feel like a lot of these people can say, oh, that's just so negative, talking about hostile work environments. But I feel like it's necessary, because a lot of people are being sent, young people especially, you're being sent out on these jobs and you're expected to engage and navigate the office politics in a way that you are not being told or taught how to do. You aren't taught that in school. You aren't given the tools and resources to help you engage. And that's why I will say, I am one of those people who, when I saw Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power, I was immediately turned off when I first started reading it. And I haven't read it. I I went to the basement and pulled out my copy after watching an interview, and he made a point that these laws were not meant for the average person to engage in, because if you do, you're going to end up being alone. He said this is to inform the naive that these are the type of people you are going to encounter in the workspace. So not only do I have power, I have mastery, I have war, and I have the art of seduction. I'm going to read them all, because I too was not prepared to deal with the type of, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, the type of things that I experienced in my situation. I felt like it was something from a TV show. If somebody had told me the things that people would do, I would not have believed this. I'm like, you're talking about grown people. Nobody is doing that. You're making that up. I wouldn't have believed it. Let me tell you now, that situation gave me some true religion. So I'm a believer. And so what I want to do is share my story and help you get in a better situation, so you know how to protect yourself when you encounter the bossinator. So that's the Ask Corinne question for the day, and that's my answer. So and I'll catch you guys next time, and have a good one. Let me go in here and get my groceries. Shalom.